Alrighty. And I'm going to buffer again for a bit.
We are streaming. Hello, everybody.
Hello. How are you, Liz?
I am amazing. And how are you?
Good. I'm so excited because today was warm outside. Woo!
Wasn't it amazing? I suppose we should introduce the show, Amber. You want to do your thing?
Yes, we should do this. I did this last time too. I was so excited just to get on and everything's rolling and I'm still delayed a little bit. But welcome everybody to Giant TV's The Insiders with Liz and Amber, and happy Friday.
Oh, happy Friday, everybody. And happy Friday to you, Amber. I have been outside in the new, the new world of things starting to open up, and it's so busy now. Have you noticed that? Like, have you noticed the traffic and everything's picking up? And
so last weekend, I noticed there was a lot of traffic picking up, and I thought it was odd because we still hadn't really opened up much more, but I haven't been out of the house or traveled anywhere to notice that things have changed again in the last couple days.
That's, yeah. I got to turn off this, I'm putting on my phone so that I can see if anybody comes on. I apologize. And it's so loud, and I apologize for that. So
you know, it was so beautiful this morning outside that I stood outside for a few minutes, and the wind was just kind of like blowing over. And as everybody who practices energy clearing knows, that the wind blowing over your physical body helps clear away the energy. So I was just enjoying it. Yeah.
So lovely. Just lovely to be outside and feel the heat again. Because we haven't really had a shot of that yet. So it's just lovely. But I'm getting so overcast right now. So I may be looking like I'm in a dark, clouded room, but I can promise you it was bright a few minutes ago. But we do have some viewers, Amber. Colleen is saying hello. Laura's saying hello. Patricia Lynn Amon is watching. And so is Michelle Stoyles. Hello. So we've got... Corinna is saying hello, ladies. So what are we going to talk about today, Amber?
Clairalience.
So we got to tell them why I'm laughing about that.
So because it was like clairalience, clairalliance. There's different ways of like tomato, potato. So we were just trying to say like, how are we saying it? How have we normally said it? Yeah, for sure.
So it's so funny because there's so many, different dialects or different countries will give it a different sound, whatever you want to call it, as long as it's the clear smelling, clair being clear, and alliance, whatever it is, being smelling. Okay, so. Have you ever experienced a challenge? Have you ever experienced a moment, which of course I'm sure you have, where you've smelt something that couldn't possibly be in the room or outside?
Yes. And that one trips me out. Like this ability to clearly smell a psychic message trips me out every time. Like worse than if I see someone or something standing there. This one, because it messes with your mind, like at least for me, right? Like I don't know about you, but messes with your mind. Like you're like, why do I smell that right now? And then you're on the floor sniffing around to try to figure out.
Like where's that coming from?
Yeah, where is it? I remember years ago when I worked in a nursing home. It feels like a different lifetime ago now, right? Well, when you work in a long-term care facility or a hospital, you tend to pick up smells and they don't leave your nose, right? So you get home and you're like looking for that smell in the home. So years later, when I wasn't working in the healthcare industry, it was a lot easier for me to discern if I was actually receiving a psychic message, because now I was like, there's no reason I should be smelling that right now. But one of my favorites is campfire.
Yes.
Yeah,
for sure.
What about you? Do you was I just crazy, or do you?
No, not at all. No. I can remember the very first time I smelt something that nobody else could smell. And it was at a funeral home, actually. And it's a really awful smell, which is like rotting corpse smell. And the only reason I knew that, because we lived on a farm, I know, horrific. And I'm like, why does it smell so bad in here? Everyone's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, it smells like the dead animals. And my dad was like, no, it doesn't smell like that in here. And I'm like, no, it really does. And that was the first real memory of having the clairalience or aliens symptom, we'll say.
Wow.
Another really profound story that I'll share with you was we had just moved, our company had just moved from one location to another. And as we walked into the new building, like, it was a big surprise. We didn't know that this was happening. And our boss brought us over and said, surprise, this is going to be where you're working from now on. And I immediately didn't like the vibe in the building, but I could smell like a fire. I could smell burning wood and plastic and like all that combination of smell. And I'm like, wow, was there can anybody else smell that? Like, it just reeks like bad. Like, was there a fire in here? And she goes, no, there's no smell. But how did you know there was a fire here? It was like 10 years ago or 20 years ago or something, whatever she said. And I'm like, I'm surprised you guys can't smell it, because it was, to me, just off the charts. Now, obviously, I wasn't really fully aware what that Claire was at the time. But I also, I could be in my house and doing a reading, and I'm sure, like, this is where it happens a lot for us. And all of a sudden we'll get like a scent of perfume or aftershave or cigar smoke or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The smell, it's not one of my most common ways of connecting to a message. It typically isn't, but they do use that for me to understand, cigarette smell or, fire, let's say other one, like fragrances, like floral fragrances, right? So a lot of that, or powder, I can smell powder. But yeah, whatever helps them understand how to communicate with us so we can get the message across the most effective way. Yeah. And I'm sure the viewers at home can smell things too, just randomly. And how is because there's no way that you can know that there's smell that's happening. Like, I know that in my home there's no campfire happening, or all of a sudden, you're thinking of something else and you're invested in maybe working, and then all of a sudden you smell like lilacs or something, right? Yeah,
so quite impressive. We do have a couple of people chiming in. Stephanie Little is saying, she's in, hello Stephanie, she's saying, crazy, this happened for the first time last week. Tripped me out too. Took me a bit to realize it was a message. Of course it is. It's very trippy, because logically the smell shouldn't be there. And we're trained with our nose to smell what we smell. So we know walking into a barn, we're going to smell a certain thing. We know walking into a home, it's going to have a specific kind of like either cooking smell or, whatever that person you're connecting with, what their smell is. So when you get something completely random like that, it's very trippy for sure. She said, how crazy that it's the topic today. I know, not crazy at all. Everything for a reason. Exactly.
Yep.
So true. So true.
That's the way.
She said, fresh fish from my couch. I kept blaming the dogs. That's so funny.
Hilarious. That's the thing though, right? We like, where is that coming from? What happened? What did you do?
Yeah. Like when you smell fire, like sometimes I'll have clients who have lost somebody through a fire, and they perished in a fire. And usually before the reading or even after, like you said, the smell continues. Like it kind of comes and goes when that spirit is near. And I'll be smelling, and I'll be like to my husband, can you not smell that? Can you, like, something's burning. Something is burning in this house. And he's like, Liz, there's nothing burning. Like, there's nothing. And he'll go around and check everything. And I really
Yeah.
should just
Yeah,
like
because
recognize. Yeah.
it's your brain trying to make sense of how come I can smell something and where is it coming from and how come, what am I supposed to do with it? And we're so
Yeah.
consumed, our ego self is
Yeah.
so consumed with trying to figure out there must be a reason
Yeah.
that we're totally evading the fact that we're supposed to be receiving a message in this
Yeah.
moment, right?
Yes. And I was doing a client once from the States, and I kept smelling orange, like the smell of orange juice or orange. And I'm like, wow, that's really powerful. In my head, I'm like, that is like intense, like orange smell. And so I finally just let it go. I'm like, oh, it's so strange right now. All I can smell is oranges. And she's like, oh my God, that's my dad. He had an orange, orchard in Florida. And I'm like, no way. So it's just like, trust that moment that you have those smells. They're usually connected.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they're usually connected to spirit. Would you not, Amber? Like, I don't know that I've ever experienced it for any other reason other than connecting it to a spirit.
No, I haven't either. I mean, usually when I'm receiving messages through visions or smells, tastes, whatever, it's usually because somebody's making a connection. I know now there's telltale signs that happen to me physically that I know I'm receiving
Do
messages.
share. I'd like to know.
Yeah. So when I first start to connect to an energy, the back of my thighs start to tingle.
Oh.
So at first, when I was first receiving all of these messages and that was happening, it felt like I was like starting to, like my throat was closing or my tongue was tingly and the back of my thighs were tingly. So I was nervous that I was starting to have like an allergic reaction to something. So then when I realized, obviously very quickly that wasn't the case. And that once I took a few deep breaths and kind of figured out what the heck is going on, everything I ate today or touched today is all the stuff I've normally had, you talk yourself through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I realized that was it. Every single time that sensation occurs, that's when I'm starting to get messages or things are starting to go a little bit wonky and someone's trying to get my attention. So now I know as soon as I start to feel like a tingly tongue or behind my thighs, especially, that if I do get smelling or hearing or whatever, that it's that. So now I'm like, okay, I got it, Pat. And now I know what to expect just in case.
I get like almost like someone's tickling very, very lightly the tip of my nose. And I just want to keep rubbing my nose like that. That's usually like an indicator when somebody's like right beside me, like they want to talk right now, before I recognize that I need to pay attention.
Wow, that's so cool.
But it's usually like, I always reckon like it's like somebody's very lightly tickling the tip of my nose. So you'll see me do that a lot. Usually.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny because my husband will think that I'm irritated because in the moment, like everything kind of goes weird. I get a little spacey and then I'm like doing this a million times. And he's like, you're going to like rub your nose right off your face, like chill out. And I'm like, I just can't get that to go away. But it's usually in the moment where I'm getting grace from spirit. Like, I'm like, okay, Amber, you need to exercise grace. Like something is making you impatient, relax, and it kind of like takes my mind off of it.
That's an interesting. Okay.
I've spent many hours trying to figure myself out. I'll tell you when I do.
Yeah, let me in on that, will you? Well, we do have a couple more comments. Lori Howard is watching. Hello, Lori. Tamara is saying, I have been getting the smell of bleach these days. Normally I smell cigarette smoke, don't understand the bleach smell because I smell it outside or in my car. So think of somebody, like I'm wondering if it's like a grandma, I'm feeling like a female connection to her, a grandmother figure or aunt figure who would have cleaned with bleach all the time. It would have been something you walked into their house and I'm seeing like white. Everything was white and clean. So connect maybe to that, Tamara. Laura, are you getting anything on the bleach before I move on?
I just got difficulty breathing, like I was going to start coughing. So I don't know if that's because I'm picking up. Sometimes when I smell cleaners, I feel short of breath, but other times I feel like it has to do with somebody who might be struggling or did struggle with a lung condition. just as you were reading that, that's how I
Perfect.
physically started to feel.
And okay, perfect. And Laura Nickerson is saying, I've been smelling ammonia recently and has been so strong, it's brought tears to my eyes. Wow. So, okay, so like I should say, and I'm not saying that specifically for you, Laura, but I know there's a medical condition where we can smell what smells like smoke and or like strong ammonia smell, which is like the onset of a nasal infection or cold of some kind. Not saying that that's what that is, but I want to just put that out there to all of you, so that in the event it's like, you know, you can eliminate that, because some people will probably know that already and go, well, you're probably smelling smoke for this reason or whatever. I want to eliminate that. It just came to my head. But the ammonia so strong that it brought tears to her eyes.
That's amazing. Like you've got ammonia and you've got bleach.
Yeah.
In a time where on our minds, yeah, cleansing, and your spiritual team, whether it's your guides, being loved ones that have departed, or ascended masters, guardian angels, whatever, might be reminding the bleach and the ammonia to get sanitizing, or to validate that you are on the right track because you have been, you know, overly cleaning or making sure that you're okay. Yeah. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. As soon as you started saying that, I was like, yeah, time for some cleansing. Like not like cleaning the house, cleansing of the soul kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Michelle is here. Michelle Phillimore. Hello, darling. Crystal Rose is watching. Hello, Crystal. Hello, hello. Renee Ritchie says, hello, ladies. Hello, Renee.
Hello.
Stephanie she's saying that she loves Renee's butterfly, because Renee's put like a little happy face with a little butterfly next to it. So she's just pointing that out. And Tamara's saying, thank you, ladies. So how many of you guys watching have had moments where you've had unexplained smells, like other than the gals that have already connected to us? Or how many of you have been feeling like we need to spiritually clean or cleanse? We need to really get a handle on our spiritual activity, if that makes sense. How many of you? I'll just wait for them to kind of chime in on that, because I know I've been doing it. I don't know about you, Amber, but I've been doing it. I've been absolutely engrossed in creating, which is part of my spiritual cleansing. I needed to get out of my own way and start creating again. And that's been so uplifting for me. How about you, Amber?
Absolutely. I've been also on the same path of creating and, setting goals, like redeveloping what it is that I'm even supposed to be doing with my soul's purpose. Like it's a big shift again.
Yeah.
And then also just with my own personal relationship, like with my chakras and how clear they are and how balanced, because I feel like there's blocks and those blocks have to go. And every so often I'll spend time and I'll go through them and clear the chakras out. And so just recently I did the solar plexus. I started out thinking it was my sacral, and it ended up taking me right to the solar plexus.
Wow.
And I felt amazing the next day. But when I was doing it, the first day, it was like, oh my God, somebody's ripping me from the inside out. Like it was just like that resistance. I'm like, no, take it away. I just don't want it anymore. And then finally I just said, look, whatever I'm holding on to that I don't understand, just help me disintegrate those ties to it. And then the next day I just felt so much lighter. And then, it worked when the next day after that, you even feel even lighter after that. And you're not going back.
I think for the sake of those that might be watching who don't know what chakras are, and just kind of give them a basic lesson on what that is. So
yeah, we have 7 major chakras, and they are essentially supposed to be kind of right down the median of the body, the midline, and they're different. They're associated with different colors and different reasons, and there's different names to them. And so the first chakra is at the root, which is at the base of the spine. Just below the belly button and above the pubic bone is the sacral chakra. And that's, sorry, the root chakra was also associated with red. The sacral chakra is orange. And the solar plexus I was working on, which is right near the diaphragm above the belly button, is yellow. And then we have our heart chakra right here, which is green, tinge of pink, and our throat chakra blue. And our third eye, everybody knows about, is indigo, like a violet-y purple. And then our crown chakra above our head is either like a nice purple color as well, or like a bright white.
Perfect.
And they all have different things, like you hold different things on them, right? So every one of us has just been kind of rocked in our root chakra system with this whole COVID-19 pandemic, because that is everything related to security and health and finance and living arrangements and all those, like, how safe am I and how can I protect myself? So that's starting at the base, and then everything else just grows upon that.
Yeah. So, just if you're, still, concerned about not needing to know more, you can Google it, chakras, body chakras. But yeah, you did very well at explaining that, I have to say. You must have taught that to somebody before.
Well, I just wanted to add too, chakras are essentially like spinning wheels of energy. So when I'm talking about those colors, they're essentially like, if you'd imagine, I always think of what it looks like, an oscillating fan, right? It's spinning. I think of
like a pie plate. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's how, like, just energy centers and what they're responsible for and keeping them clean.
Yeah. Yeah, perfectly stated. Okay, so we do have a couple. Michelle saying that she gets the smells. Michelle Stoyles is saying, I used to smell a perfume smell in my linen closet in an old house that reminded me of my grandma, who has passed many years ago. I never use any fragrances as I am sensitive to scent. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you were clearly getting a connection there to grandma, I would say. Okay. Or it could even have been connected to an older lady that lived in the house that used that prep, but I'm leaning towards your grandmother being with you. Vanessa Karen's watching. Hello, Vanessa. Leanne is saying hi. And Stephanie Abuzi is saying, this time we have right now is needed. We all need to center ourselves. This is a blessing in disguise. I love you, ladies. You're so right.
Absolutely. We have been talking about this last year, about how this shift is coming, how we have to be prepared. Something was going to make it so profound that everyone had to do it on a global perspective. Liz and I talked about self-care, balancing, grounding, the importance of it. There was a lot of talk about illness around that. Yeah. And ironically, the chakra system, so the energy spinning cycle of compassion, love, for self and others, is the chakra system that has been affected with COVID-19. So what it allows us to essentially do is to pause. Self-care, self-love equals the ability to love and have compassion and empathy towards everybody else. So even though this time has given us that, like, slow down, and our root chakra got kind of shocked up there, it also is giving us the ability to really show love and concern and compassion and do those little, like, random acts of kindness and practice our self-care and clear out that heart chakra that's been blocked up by society and the rush and hurry up, and we don't have any time, we got to go, and no one's getting any time. So hallelujah, you're absolutely on the right track for that.
Yeah. I'm so grateful for it. Actually, it's been a really good awareness awakening for me. Like, I feel like I've woken up during this time frame. So it's been wonderful for me. Well, I'm just looking at the time, Miss Amber. We are going to have to wrap up early today. It is 5 after.
Okay.
5 after. So do you have a fun fact about Amber that you want to share? Like, I haven't even given it any thought, and I feel like I'm terribly putting you on the spot.
My fun fact for today, because I didn't actually think about it either, was I don't know what my fun fact would be.
Well, why don't you tell us about those flowers behind you, which are gorgeous, by the way?
Oh, fun fact. I got one. Fun fact, my husband, since our very first date, has brought me roses. And on the 14th of every single month, he brings me a dozen roses.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Tell him my husband's going to be calling him.
I know
my husband needs to know.
Every time he goes to the florist or to the grocery store, the women that are in line are saying, "Oh, they're so nice." And he says, "Yes, they're for my wife." And they always look to their husband. And he's just like, "Sorry, bud, like, gotta go, bye." You know, like, but he started it. On our first date, he showed up at our front door and I didn't see it, but he had one single rose behind his back. And it was very surprising and very sweet. And then on the 14th, because that was the 14th, every month, he was bringing me one rose. So at one point I said to him, you know, I feel like it should be two, only because it's like you and me, right? And then he stopped being able to get two, and it turned into like, I brought you a dozen. And I was like, oh, a dozen is much nicer.
It's
and
so much nicer.
What a snot I am. I'm just like, one, two, a dozen. It wasn't my fault. It was only available.
Yeah,
but
no, hey,
that was
take what you can get, right? So a fun fact about roses or flowers with me and my husband, because I don't get them as often as you, whenever we're in the grocery store, you know how the grocery store sells them, you know, at the end of like, you know, or near the checkout or whatever. And it's just the thing we do. I've done it since the beginning of time with him. I always say, honey, I wonder what those are for. Like, why would somebody sell those? Like, it's so weird that people actually are selling flowers. Like, do you eat them? Like, it's so strange. And so like men, there's other couples around, and they start out by, and Andrew's like, I don't know, I wonder why they sell flowers. Like, it's weird, right? Like, we play this little game. Yeah. And inevitably women are like, yeah, why do they sell flowers, honey? So we have a lot of fun every time we're in the grocery store together or out where there's flowers. It's kind of funny.
I love it. Well, Matt's not perfect. Matt missed March 2011.
Oh, that's terrible.
How dare he?
What a jerk.
I'm just kidding, but I do tell him that. I say, you know, you did miss March 2011, and we joke about it. But, you know, and in return, just for the ladies or gentlemen who are watching and thinking, wow, like, you don't do anything for him. I do lots for him. And
how did you get there from where?
I'm thinking, wait a second, I need to do something for him that's just as nice, but not predictable that he's going to be like, oh, I need this. So I have my own little routines for him. So he gets filled too.
Yes. Yeah. That's the dance of love, right?
Yeah.
We have our own little things that we hand out or give to show appreciation and love. Well, that's good. That's little fun facts for you. I'm glad I put you on the spot, because
I'm glad that you saw those, because I had no fun fact. So that was perfect.
Yeah. So I'm like, those are really pretty behind you. Those are red roses. Did I miss an anniversary or birthday or something that I'm not aware of? Okay, so let's just see. We've got Leanne saying, what a sweetheart. She's right. He is. And Corinna saying, that's so nice. I need a husband like that.
Listen, my guy, he's got good qualities, but he's also, you know, human. A Virgo. He's a Virgo.
Yeah, I have a Taurus, so you know.
Same thing, yeah.
Well, guys, it's been great connecting with you, and Amber, always a pleasure.
It is so lovely to connect to you and to everyone else. And I just want to challenge everybody who's listening to practice their clairalience by imagining something that they can. So imagine I'm going to use an orange, because that's the one I get the most, like, you know, tantalizing smell out of. I love it. Yeah. And you mentioned oranges. So imagine an orange, and then sit and take deep breaths, close your eyes, and then allow that taste to come in, and practice that. You can do it with anything. If you sit and you get off this live and you think, oh, I just want pizza, hot gooey pizza, you remember, like, it starts coming in and you can taste it. So practice that. Yeah. And that's the tasting though, right? We're doing smelling. So you can do the same thing, smelling the oranges.
We'll be talking about tasting next week.
We are talking about tasting, but you know what? Both of them are associated with the same chakra. So the throat chakra actually does the clairgustance, which is the taste, and the clairalience, which is the smelling. But so they kind of go together because you have to taste it to smell it and smell it to taste it. But you can practice both of those that way. Think of your favorite snack or your favorite food or an orange and let that smell come in. And you may even just have that taste pop in too.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we will talk about clairgustance next time.
Bye guys. Love you.
Bye everybody.